Hey guys, I'm Connor from the Connor and Landon Show, and right now, by the way, before I start, like the hat, so do I. Got it for Christmas video, made it, gonna wear it now. So, right now I'm going to be giving you guys what I like to call a first. This has never happened on our channel before, but I decided to do it because I saw the Rock It Out blog, and a bunch of other people on YouTube do this before. So right now I'm going to be giving you guys my top 5 favorite albums from 2012. I know I may be a little late on this, but I'm making the video anyways, so let's get started. Before I get started with the top 5, I'm going to be giving you guys a few honorable mentions. Some albums that are not on the list that are still really good that were from 2012 that I think are really, really awesome and really, really good, but not good enough to be on the top 5. First honorable mention, I would have to give Deuce from Hollywood Undead with his first solo album called Nine Lives. The reason why I give this an honorable mention is because there's some songs off this album that I just quite frankly don't like the song Freaky Now, I think, and Let's Get Crackin'. I don't really like those songs out there, and some of the songs out there just don't make sense, but I still think the album's really good. Second honorable mention that I want to talk about is Blink-182, their newest EP that they came out, and the first EP they've made as independent rockers or whatever in like 12 years or 10 years or something like that. Their newest EP called Dogs Eating Dogs. I thought that was an awesome Blink-182 EP. The reason why it's not on my top 5 is because honestly I thought it came out a little too late in 2012, so I kind of consider it a 2013 album, but it's still good from 2012. Another honorable mention I wanted to say is the newest album by Deftones, which is called Koi no Yoken. And the thing about this album is that this is the first album that I think the album is really good. It's really good new metal or alternative metal or alternative rock, whatever Deftones is now. It's a really good album like that, and I thought the album was really, really good. It's just I listened to it recently and I thought it was really good, so that's why I didn't put it on the top 5. And the thing about it is that this is the first album that Deftones have released since their bassist Chi Chang got into that horrible car accident and was put into a coma. So hopefully he gets out of that coma soon so he can go back in the band and make awesome music. And that was a horrible tragedy that when I first heard about that, I was a huge Deftones fan, and then he got out of there, so I thought, well, they might not be that good. So, and then I listened to Diamond Eyes, and that was fucking awesome. And then Koi no Yoken, I think is what it's called. Yeah, that was really good, so I don't know. But yeah, that's another honorable mention. Another honorable mention I actually wanted to talk about is the newest album by All Time Low, which is called Don't Panic. I heard the song For Baltimore, and then I heard Always in Neverland, I think it's called. Heard that song, which is actually going to be in a Peter Pan remake that they're apparently making in 2013 or 2014, whenever it comes out. So I heard that album, I thought it was really, really awesome. The thing I don't like about that album is that it doesn't sound like older All Time Low albums like Nothing Personal. And honestly, I thought Dirty Work was kind of bad. Like that album's really good, just I Feel Like Dancing. I don't really like that song whatsoever. So yeah, Don't Panic by All Time Low. It's the return for the new sound and the new good sound for All Time Low. It's just a little The last honorable mention I wanted to talk about that came out this year is the first actual album by the band Imagine Dragons called Night Visions. I heard about Imagine Dragons, like most people probably heard about them, from the song Radioactive from the Assassin's Creed 3 trailer. I heard the song, I was like, oh my god, who sings this? And honestly, when I heard the band Imagine Dragons, I thought, okay, why would a band called Imagine Dragons sing a song called Radioactive like that? Like a band called Imagine Dragons, I would expect them to sing a song like Fluffy the Imaginary Pumpkin. Yeah, that's a really weird name for So yeah, but the Imagine Dragons album Night Visions I thought was amazing. The song Radioactive and It's Time are like my favorite song, like one of my favorite songs from this year. Those songs are awesome. I saw them in Conan recently. Good job, guys. So yeah, that's another honorable mention. Let's move on to the top 5, and let's get started. So my number 5 album from 2012. I'm sorry if some of you disagree with this. I'm sorry if some of you guys don't like this album. Van Halen, A Different Kind of Truth. I'm sorry, but this is the first album that Van Halen has released since 1984, and this is the first album that Van Halen has released with the return of David Lee Roth. Of course I'm gonna like this album. David Lee Roth has not been in the band since 1985, I think it was, when he quit the band after 1984, and then they had whatever the fuck his name was join the band and sing for them for the longest time. Honestly, I listened to the album 1984 for like the longest time when I was a kid. I know I'm 15, but I was listening to the album and I thought, and I asked my mom one day when I was listening, I was like, Mom, why doesn't Van Halen make any albums with that guy anymore? And my mom, honestly, I never knew that David Lee Roth quit the band because I was 6. My mom was like, oh, that guy's not in the band anymore. I was like, heartbroken, because Van Halen was awesome. And then when I heard that David Lee Roth rejoined the band in 2008, the excitement was amazing for me. And then I heard 2012 they were releasing a new album called A Different Kind of Truth, and I heard the song Tattoo. That song got me hyped up for the album, so I got the album the day it came out, but I got it off iTunes, so I have this. I didn't get it in Source. So yeah, that would be my number 5 favorite album from 2012, A Different Kind of Truth by Van Halen. The reason why I put it at number 5 is because it was good, but not as good as the other ones, and there's some songs on there I actually kind of don't like. Like the song Stay Frosty, it's alright. The song Tattoo, I love that song. It's like one of my favorite songs off the album. Not really, but I don't know. So yeah, on to number 4. My number 4 favorite album from 2012, I would have to say All American Rejects, Kids in the Street. I never actually knew that All American Rejects were coming out with a new album until kind of a week before this album came out. Like, my cousin told me that he, back in 2011, he went to go see them in concert because he won tickets. Yeah, of all people, my cousin wins tickets to go to see All American Rejects, and he didn't take me. He took his friend. He has a picture with the All American Rejects, which I would show you, but I don't know how to edit that. Well, I do, so I might put that in. I don't know. So he told me that when he was seeing them, he actually heard them play some new songs, and he said the names of the songs were Beekeeper's Daughter and Kids in the Street. I was like, oh, cool. Didn't really actually care. And then I heard they were releasing a new album. I was like, wait a minute. So, yeah, this album is first album that All American Rejects have released since the 2008 album When the World Comes Down. That's 4 years difference, which isn't really that big for All American Rejects because it usually takes them a while to make albums. But yeah, I thought this album was awesome and one of the best. Actually, by All American Rejects, is actually my second favorite album by All American Rejects now. First being Move Along, duh. And some of the songs on here, I like the pop punk sound and the power pop sound of All American Rejects, but the song Fast and Slow, it's a little too popish for me. But it's still a good album, so that's number 4. On to number 3, which is... So my number 3 favorite album from 2012 I would have to say it's Living Things from Linkin Park. 2 years after A Thousand Suns came out, honestly I thought A Thousand Suns was a fail album. I think it's actually my least favorite album by Linkin Park. And then they dropped this one, Living Things. I stated before, this is my new second favorite album from Linkin Park. Lost in the Echo, Burn It Down, Castle of Glass, Powerless, awesome songs. Victimize is a little bit of a cock tease song for older Linkin Park fans, but there's still old style Linkin Park in here, I would have to say, and whenever Chester Bennington screams in this, it reminds me of old Linkin Park songs like off of Meteora and Hybrid Theory, so I like the way they were going with this. I love this album. This album is amazing, and if you're a human being, go pick it up. That's my number 3. On to my number 2 album from 2012, which, okay, do you blame me for this one? Rocker Nation, members of the Rock It Out blog, fans, you honestly knew I was gonna put this in my top 5 favorite from 2012. You just didn't know which number it was gonna be. You were like, okay, he's probably gonna put that in there. I just don't know what number it is. Jack White Blunderbuss. Who doesn't like this album? Who on the face of this planet Earth cannot say that Jack White is probably one of the greatest songwriters and greatest song performers and one of the greatest singers of all time? I think the White Stripes are probably one of the next Led Zeppelin, even though they broke up in a matter of less than 10 years. But yeah, this album, giving this album a 10 out of 10 is saying it sucks. I would probably rate this album an 18 out of 10. This album is the definition of what Jack White should sound like, even though some of the songs on here he kind of raps on it, and that's the downside of this album a little bit. Some of the songs don't sound like singing, they kind of sound like rapping, especially when he released a single for the song I'm Shakin', number 8. There's a B-side on there, forgot what the song called. It's kind of a rap song by Jack White, and as you know, Jack White can do no wrong. Insane Clown Posse. Okay, no one bring that up ever again. Anyways, on to my number 1 favorite album of 2012. Okay, if you watched the Connor and Landon show ever, you knew I was gonna put this at number 1 for my favorite albums of 2012. My number 1 albums of 2012 are... Okay, so my top number 1 favorite album of 2012. Honestly, I could not pick out of these. I was arguing with myself. Well, is this one's good? Well, this one's good. Honestly, my top number 1 favorite albums of 2012 is a 3-way tie between Green Day's Uno, Dos, and Trey. Honestly, I saw the Rocket Out Blog's review for Uno and Dos. Uno, I thought it was a good review. Dos, come on, a D-. Are you kidding me? I would give this album an A+. I would give all 3 of these albums an A+. These albums are the definition of what Green Day should sound like. 21st Century Breakdown, probably one of my favorite albums by Green Day of all time. Honestly, my favorite Green Day albums would probably go Dookie, American Idiot, Trey, and then it would go 21st Century Breakdown, Uno, and then rest like that. So yeah, these albums are awesome and amazing. Trey is actually my favorite out of the 3, but I can't really picking a favorite album of Uno, Dos, and Trey is like picking a favorite kid. You want to, but that'd be mean. So yeah, that's my favorite albums from 2012. If you like this video, like it. If you don't like this video, there's a little button up there that has an X at the top. If you're using Safari, if you're using an Apple or a Mac and Safari, it's probably right there. But if you're using Windows, it's right there. Click that right there if you don't like this video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 3, 2, 1, I'm done. My next review for CDs is going to be on Green Day's Trey, and a little album that came out on January 8th, which most people have never heard of, this band ever. So, by the way, that was Hollywood and Dead Notes from the Underground. So that's pretty much it. 3, 2, 1. I am done.